Hey there, what's up you guys? It's me, your boy JD, and welcome back to the channel. And yes, I'm actually sitting on the floor because I'm too lazy to set up the whole thing. And the reason for that is because I got chased by dogs while biking on the way home. So anyways, cue in the intro. So alright, for this episode, what we are actually going to be talking about is actually the D-Rose 11, and I'm actually very excited to try out the sneaker. And the reason for that is because after being a fan of his for such a long time, I've actually and finally copped a pair of the D-Rose 11. And one of the reasons why I particularly chose the D-Rose 11 when I had the chance to cop the D-Rose 10 was because the D-Rose 11's design, the silhouette, is very similar to the D-Rose 2.5, and that was the sneaker that made me love his signature line basically. So yeah, so now let's get right into the sneaker. So as you guys can see on the clip, the sneaker has this translucent outsole, and I'm not really sure if you guys can actually see it, but it's actually this modified herringbone pattern. You guys can actually see this on the other colorways that has the solid rubber outsole, but for this particular one with the translucent outsole and the glittery design, it's a hard traction pattern to actually see. But nevertheless, it is actually this modified herringbone pattern, and I'm very excited because my experience with Adidas's translucent outsoles, particularly the Crazy Explosive 2017 and the Dawn Issue 1s, my experience with those is that it's actually a great rubber compound that they use. Then at the same time, this one having the modified herringbone gets me all the more excited to try it. And with my experience with the durability, for some reason, the durability of Adidas's translucent outsoles last longer than Nike's and other brands that I know, which is kind of weird. Well, not Chinese brands, but particularly Nike's actually, it lasts longer for some reason. Now moving up to the cushion setup, this is actually the first time I'm going to be able to try Light Strike on a sneaker, which makes me again excited to really just do a performance run on the sneaker. So after downgrading from Boost through the 9 and the 10, which when they used Bounce, and don't get me wrong, Bounce is actually a great foam compound for cushion setups, but it's a downgrade of course from Boost. They finally used Light Strike, which is probably their new flagship rubber compound for their basketball sneakers or whatever. But this Light Strike trademark that you guys can see, that waffle squarey thing that looks like it, that's actually part of the Light Strike, but that's not really the Light Strike. What's really the Light Strike is, as you guys can see on the clip, it's that small hole here on the outsole, that one, the one that has the coordinates, that's actually the softer Light Strike material. That's the one that you're gonna feel when you're actually playing basketball. So yeah, that pretty much takes care of it for the cushion setup. I'm just really excited because it is the first time that I'm gonna be able to try on Light Strike. Now moving up to the materials of the sneaker. For the uppers material, let's talk about the back portion of the sneaker first. You've got this neoprene material that has the D-Rose logo right in there, and then on the upper of the tongue, it's also neoprene, and you've got that Adidas logo right there. And some people might find it cheap, but for me, I actually like the way neoprene feels. So yeah. Now overall, the shoe is just textile everywhere, but on this toe area, the one right here, it's actually the Adiprene Plus, which is a nod to the Adiprene, which is the materials that they used way back then, particularly the Crazy Light series when they had the Adi Zero, Crazy Light, whatever, stuff like that. That was the one that they were using, but this time it's the evolved version, the plus version of that material. But it's basically just a tougher knit material than the textile that they used on the sides of the sneaker. So with that, you're pretty much safe when you do toe drags and everything. So that's the sturdy part of the sneaker. You also have some fused materials that separates the Adiprene Plus from the other textile materials of the sneaker as well. And then you've got fused materials for the three stripes right there. I'm gonna try to angle it on the camera so that you guys can see while it's reflecting. It's basically that. And then one of the things that I'm very curious about is, you guys can see while I'm moving, you guys can see that frosted design of the sneaker, because this is the Christmas colorway, and that's got me curious. And the reason for that is because it does remind me of the upper of the Kobe 6, which has that fusing materials that's supposed to look like snakeskin, and it does remind me of that. With this setup, I feel like the shoe is going to be a little bit more supportive than the other colorways, because this is the only colorway that has that. So if you guys can actually have it in hand, if you guys can feel it in hand, like right now, those frosted materials are actually just fusy areas. So I just feel like it's gonna be more supportive than the other colorways. Now talking about support, let's go to the fit support and the lockdown. So for the fit, I actually went 8.5 with these sneakers. But all I can say is the fitting is very, very weird because I am a size 8, 8.5, and 9 depending on the sneaker. So I tried on the 8, it was too snug for me. And then I tried on the 9 while wearing the ankle brace. And I didn't like the way it fitted here around my toe area. So I went with 8.5 and it was a perfect fit for me, which I can definitely say my true size, just 8.5. But the thing is, again, the fitting is weird. So my suggestion is if you guys are planning to cop a D-Rose 11 shoe, maybe from somewhere else, you guys might want to try it in-store first since the malls are open anyway. So try it on in-store first before copying so that you guys would know your real size with the sneaker. But my suggestion is just go through to size based on my experience. But again, try it on in-store first. That would be the best thing to do. So moving on now to the support and the lockdown. So again, moving on from the fusing materials, you do have the 3 stripes is actually heavily fused, so that actually acts as an additional lateral containment system, which is kind of good. And then you also have this plastic material right here where the light strike is written, and it acts 2 ways as containment for the light strike, and at the same time it acts as a small lateral containment unit, and it goes all the way around the sneaker all the way here. And because of that, it extends all the way to the heel area, which acts as a heel counter. You do have that as an external, and you also have an internal heel counter within the materials of the sneaker. Speaking of the heel area, you do have that angling that will allow you to be locked down into the sneaker so that you won't feel wobbly when you're going around. Like, it wouldn't feel like this when you're running around, so you're gonna be locked into the sneaker. And then you do have that wide base, which is something that I like. The only thing that I don't like is how flat it is. I just wish that they put a little bit more elevation on the toe and a little bit here on the heel area. It is a very, very flat. That's the only thing that I don't like, but you do have that wide out rigor, as you guys can see, so you guys won't roll your ankles anywhere. So that pretty much takes care of it for the fit support and the lockdown. So now let's go to my favorite portion when we're talking about sneakers, which is the aesthetics. So I actually like this small detail that they did with the D-Rose 11, this particular colorway, the Christmas one, and they actually used a rope to place the tag in. And because compared to the other colorways, well, like here, like with the Dawn issue 2s, they actually used plastic to tie the tag, but for this one they actually used a rope, which gives off a more Christmassy vibe, and that small detail which just gives me like, oh, that's actually really, really cool. I just feel like that. But again, for the aesthetics overall of the sneaker, it just feels like in my head, I actually call this the LaSalle colorway because it does look like a sneaker that a player from LaSalle would wear. So yeah, it's just really green, and I actually like it because it's actually my very first green sneaker, and I'm just really excited to do a performance run on the sneaker because it is my first D-Rose sneaker. It's the first time I'm gonna be able to try light stripe, and third, that fusing material on the uppers material, which just makes me curious. That's why I want to try it. It may or may not have more supportive features than the other colorways. So anyways, guys, that pretty much takes care of it for the D-Rose 11. If you guys are interested in copying a pair, these guys are actually on sale on the Adidas website and I think on their app as well, but stocks are running out. But if you guys are interested in copying a pair, I'll be leaving a link down in the description box for the Adidas website, but at the same time, you guys can just go ahead and check it out on the FB Marketplace. A lot of people are selling it for such an affordable price, which I don't understand. So if you guys are interested in copying a pair, just go to FB Marketplace. So if you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you guys can stay updated for budget deals and budget finds, and of course budget sneaker performance reviews. And of course, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Spotify, and on TikTok. And of course, guys, please don't forget to get vaccinated or register to get vaccinated. Anyways, this was your boy JD, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.